Hi everybody. I hope you're doing well and had a great Monday. I'm going to read one of my favorite books today. Yesterday when I was cleaning in the classroom, my kids, Carson and Ella, were helping, and they were finding all sorts of books that I haven't seen in a long time. And one of my favorites is called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. And I know that I haven't read this to you, it'll be new to you. But it is completely falling apart, so the pages might fall out when I read it, and you'll just have to be patient. It's a really good story about a little girl, and little in a couple of ways. Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. It was written by Patty Lavelle, so she wrote all of the words. She is the author. And it was illustrated by David Catrow. He illustrates lots of children's books, so you might recognize the style of his pictures. So he is the illustrator because he did all of the pictures. Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. Molly Lou Mellon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proudly as you can, and the world will look up to you." So she did. She's so little, but if you look on the railing of the stairs, you can see what she's doing. Molly Lou Mellon had buck teeth. Buck teeth is a way to describe someone's teeth when their front teeth kind of stick out more than the rest of their teeth. In fact, they stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big, and the world will smile right alongside you." So she did. This is my favorite illustration in the book. Isn't that cute? With her big bright eyes. Molly Lou Mellon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." So she did. Molly Lou Mellon was often fumble-fingered, which means that she had a hard time hanging on to things. She dropped things easily. Another word that might describe that would be clumsy. If you fall a lot, or if you trip over things, or if you drop things, you might be called a little bit clumsy, or fumble-fingered. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too." So she did. Then Molly Lou Mellon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. And start in a new school. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called out, "Shrimpo," in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Mellon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, "Wow, she's good." And Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Foolish is kind of an old-fashioned word, and it just means not very smart. So after he had made fun of her and she beat him in the game, he felt a little silly for making fun of her. And all the other kids thought, "Wow, she's good." On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her "Bucky-toothed beaver." Molly Lou Mellon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck. Honk, honk." Molly Lou Mellon sang out a loud quack, so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she'd made the snowflake all wrong, but Molly Lou Mellon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and ahed, even Ronald Durkin. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Mellon a stacking penny for her tooth, and he smiled at her. That night, Molly Lou Mellon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. "Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Mellon." Now have a look at her grandma. I feel like when I look at that illustration, her little tiny, tiny grandma had probably had some of the same experiences that Molly Lou Mellon had when she was a kid. People might have made fun of her for being really small, or for other things. Like in this story, Ronald Durkin made fun of Molly Lou Mellon for all kinds of different things. And then he was able to finally do the right thing and be kind at the end, which is sometimes hard. Sometimes it's hard to start out making bad choices and then to turn them around and make them good choices instead. So we talked yesterday about friendship and about having friends. And in this book, I feel like you can kind of see that sometimes making new friends isn't the easiest thing in the world. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it takes time. And it's always worth it to keep working at making good friends. And one of the other things that Molly Lou Mellon can teach us when we read about her is the most important thing is building up the way we feel about ourselves, so that if other people make fun of us for any reason, we can still keep in our minds that we know what's true about ourselves and we know what we're good at, and we know that we are able to be kind to other people. And not only do we learn from that, but so do other people. Molly Lou Mellon taught Ronald Durkin how to be more kind by always being kind herself and just coming back and doing what made her happy and what made people around her happy, and showing that she was really good at lots of different things, until Ronald Durkin was like, yeah, I guess she's really cool and I should be her friend. So that's a good lesson to learn. This made me think of one silly little poem about another person who's not very big. It's called Melinda May. And here's a picture that goes with the poem by Shel Silverstein. There she is sitting at a table, tiny little Melinda May with something pretty big on the table. Have you heard of tiny Melinda May who ate a monstrous whale? She thought she could. She said she would. So she started in right at the tail. And everyone said, "You're much too small." But that didn't bother Melinda at all. She took little bites and she chewed very slow, just like a good girl should. And there you go again. She ate that whole whale, just one little bite at a time. So even though she was small, she was able to take on a big job all by herself. And 89 years she ate that whale because she said she would. One little step at a time for 89 years. So I hope you like both of those stories about little people who were very strong. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.